I've spoken to the police. As you might already know, there were persons involved in last night's shooting who are Wilson's students. Grant Rice has been arrested as a prime suspect. Ms. Gruelle, apparently one of your students, Eva Benitez...
Ava?
...has identified him as the shooter. She's the prime witness in the case. It is our policy not to discuss the subject inside the classroom. Thank you very much.
We need to know that there are no skeletons in their closet that the Democrats can use against us.
It was an oversight, and I apologize, sir.
So it wasn't fair then?
It wasn't fair. I always admired her work ethic, and I've been pleased to follow her career over the years. The less damage we can do to her character.
Murray, do you think you have any say over how we treat this woman's character after what you've done? You lost your say the moment we asked if you'd like to be on the Supreme Court of the United States of America, and you said yes.
No, it's a bunch of boring old farts discussing dead authors. But it's nice to have some young blood in the mix. I'll admit I have an ulterior motive for dragging you here. I've recommended you for an associate dean's position at the new Hollis Satellite School.
I don't know what to say. I had no idea. It's an honor.
If the board approves, and I can't see why they wouldn't, you would need to be in Louisiana by the beginning of the month.
Well, I think I'll need a few days to think about it.
Ezra, I'll be candid. You weren't on the short list for this position. Looks like single gunshot. Oh, no. Wrong wrist. Dr. Merrick, the body that just came in is the client. If you'll just give me some ID, we'll get started on your loan app.
Okay. Here you go.
So, what brings you to New Mexico?
My work.
And what line of work is that?
I'm a photographer.
What do you photograph?
I've been commissioned for a coffee table book. Pictures of old theaters in small towns.
Oh, there's a fantastic one down in Ruidoso. You can't miss it. It's right off the main road.
Well, if I end up using it, I'll have to make sure I give you an acknowledgement, Mr. Hutton.
Mark.
Are you the manager? I said, are you the manager?
Yes.
Good. Now let's open the money cage now, before people start getting killed.
I let you in. Now, please, let the girl go.
Let the girl go.
What are you doing?
Easy, Maggie. Just cleaning up after myself. Hey!
I tried to call you.
I brought them in.
We all brought them in. It was a team effort.
And now Kyle has the listing.
I left you messages.
I called you back.
After we closed, the Armory people got cold feet. They needed a hug. I called you first, no answer. So I sent Kyle down there, but I called you first.
I was with a neighbor of mine.
Well, if your social life got in the way...
Her husband was just killed in combat.
Well, that's...
I had responsibilities.
I sent Kyle to settle them down, which he did. They called back and said they wanted to work with him. These things happen when you've got one foot in.
No.
So, where do I start?
Well, the gunman came in at 9:05. Let's start at 9:04.
I just unlocked the door. I was flipping the open sign when this guy pushed right past me.
Can you describe him?
A white guy, large. He must have been 6 foot.
What was he wearing?
A green hooded sweatshirt and a mask. He made me lock the door and pull the shade.
Peter,
Yes, Mr. Monk.
I heard about the robbery. It must have been terrible for you.
It was terrible. Awful. Did you hear about Jasmine Adlani? He shot her in the arm. I was
Is this going to
standing
be a
right next-
long story, Peter? 'Cause
Oh, no. I guess I'm done.
I'm kind of worried about my safe deposit box. Box number 100, number 100.
We haven't done a full inventory yet.
Ouch.
Why don't we take a look? With a baby, Charlie and Leanne will be tied together forever now. And I think they have a shot at a marriage.
Well, we weren't much older when we got married. Well, neither was I, and it didn't work out.
But it can work out. My son is perfectly capable of being responsible. And he's already proven that by coming down here today.
Look, we can talk about this all we want, right? They're the ones who have to decide.
Nothing is going to be decided today. Today, all we can do is be there for them. I don't know what kind of arrangement they had, but they seem to get along fine.
What does that mean?
It means she's 28 years old. She didn't necessarily conform her lifestyle to that of an 80-year-old man.
So are you telling us she had some extracurricular relationships going on?
At least one that I know of.
Who is he?
The only reason I know about him is I was shown an unexplained $42,000 expenditure by his accountant. When I asked Hugh about it, he told me it was for a truck for a friend of Amy's.
You know the friend's name?
Richard Pancava.
You know where we can get in touch with him?
I made a point of knowing how to get in touch with him. Amy might have convinced Hugh it was an innocent relationship. She didn't convince me. Anybody miss me?
I didn't think so.